I love traveling and filming, but I don't love spending time editing footage on my laptop. That is exactly why Insta360 X5 surprised me. Most people think Insta360 cameras are only for crazy 360 shots. Yes, it can do that. But honestly, I'm really bad at 360 editing. So I took a leap and switched my main vlogging camera from a normal action camera to this. Not for the 360 tricks. Let's see how this transition works for my travel vlogs. My Insta360 X5 action camera I ordered online finally arrived. But before we dive in, let me set a few things straight. First thing first, I'm not sponsored by Insta360. I bought the X5 with my own money. So this video is just an honest thought from a travel vlogger who wants gear that actually work on the road. Secondly, this video is not a full review. It is my first impression and about 3 hours of hands-on experience with this camera and whether I think it fits my travel vlogging lifestyle. I grabbed the Insta360 X5 Essential Bundle online. It has got this camera and a bunch of accessories that I hope make life easier for someone like me who is not an electronic expert. I'm doing this with you in real time, learning as I go to see what's really like for a travel vlogger trying to get from zero to something with this camera. This box arrived today, and no joke, I'm opening it right now as you are watching. The first thing I pull out is this long stick, 140cm invisible selfie stick. Next up, this thing looks like a battery charger, and yep, it charges 2 batteries at once. And here is a stack of printed instruction, which full disclosure, I probably never read. And here, this little block is the battery for X5 itself. Plus you have got the standard lens guard, lens cap, USB-C cable, protective pouch, and of course the camera slunk in this case. Here comes the fun part. I'm finally putting the micro SD card into the X5. I didn't read the manual first because, let's be real, who does? So I kind of watched a few YouTubers first to see what happens. It turns out that the micro SD card goes into the same compartment as the battery. Yep, all of this tiny tech packed into such a small space. You know how most cameras just have a couple of stickers to peel? There is one sticker on the front lens, one on the back lens, even one on the microphone area. For a second thought, I thought they are just decorating the camera. Eventually, all the stickers are off, and I'm left with a very clean piece of gear that is almost ready to shoot. Now that I finally got the SD card and battery in, next step is getting this thing to talk to my phone. So I go to my app store and search for Insta360 app. The app is free and just like other apps, just type in Insta360 and download it. And you guessed it, the usual terms and conditions screen. I mean, every app has all this right. I just click all the things I'm supposed to and get it installed. And here's the most important part, the firmware update. Please do not skip this step. The firmware update fix bugs, help the camera runs better, and keep everything working smoothly. I realize I don't have any fancy staging equipment or smooth shots for this part of the unboxing. I'm literally making do with the box and the case as my backdrop. So if you are seeing the least glamorous unboxing montage ever recorded, well, you are not wrong. This is it. Okay, so after clicking through the T&Cs, pairing my phone with X5 app, and doing that firmware update thing, I am finally here. The camera is connected, the app is open, and we are ready to actually use this thing. Whenever I get stuck, I usually turn back to YouTube. For I am a dummy when it comes to electronics, and I don't memorize specs. I learn by watching and trying. And that's part of this journey here. I'm showing you the real life struggle of going through from nothing to something with my Insta360 X5. Here's the honest reason why I bought this camera in the first place. It has got a single lens mode. I have spent years shooting with normal flat camera, you know, the traditional stuff, and honestly, I struggled big time with 360 editing. Turning all the spherical footage into a flat video I can use has always been extra work for me. So for now, even with X5, I'm sticking with single lens mode because that's the style I know and loved. I can hold the camera, hit record, and do not worry about the reframing everything later. The Insta360 X5 can do both, traditional and 360. But for me, right now, it's single lens all the way. But before I go anywhere, there's one very important thing: charge everything. I'm officially ready to leave home and put this X5 to the test in the real world. I unpacked the X5 carrying case, and geez, it looks kind of bulky. So seeing this big case in my hand made me wonder if I actually like carrying this all day round. And now, I'm powering up my Insta360 X5 outside my setup for the first time. Now I'm all set. I set on my X5 and start swiping the screen to find the video mode. Remember, I'm not using 360 function right now. For that part scares me a little. Instead, I go straight to the video single lens mode, the one that makes me feel more familiar to me. For today's test ground, I choose Bishan Park. It is white, green, and open. Perfect for trying out real-world shoots with this camera. The video interface is actually very assuring. It looks like any normal video camera. A familiar layout with shutter speed, frame rate, and all that. Nothing alien. And then I see myself on the screen, real-time view, and the image looks crisp and clear. Honestly, at first glance, it looks brighter and wider than what I'm used to seeing my regular vlogging camera, the Pocket 2. The X5 image just popped off the LCD screen. The wide-angle field of vision is something I really like. It captures more of the scene around me, much more than my Pocket 2 ever did. And the footage look vibrant right here on the screen. The daylight shoots look great, but now it's past sunset, and suddenly the image on my screen doesn't look as bright as before. I should have come out earlier, and that will give me more time to really test the camera while the lights was still good. I decided to head over the bridge at the pond at the center of Bishan Park, a nice open area where I can at least try a few more clips before it gets too dark. But there's something I noticed right away every time I turn on the camera. I have to clumsily swipe through the touchscreen to get to the shooting mode I want. Whether it's a single lens video or another setting I want to try, it always takes a few swipes to find it. As a videographer who prefer quick, fewer fast button presses, that's something I have to mark down against at X5. I mean, I wish I could just power up and start recording without swiping through the menus. I am going to test out the 1-meter stick that comes with the Essential Bundle I bought. Given that I'm using the extended selfie stick, there is no way to use single lens when I extend my selfie stick. Look at how horrible my post-editing comes to. I'm still learning the tricks of post-editing 360 video, so appreciate your patience. Now, I'm using my 3-meter selfie stick. 3-meter is impressively long and fierce looking. However, the fulcrum effect of the 3-meter selfie stick makes it heavier to maneuver, and it just draws attention whenever I'm using it. Even though my 360 post-editing still aren't perfect yet, the effect looked fantastic. The effect almost looked like a drone shot, like the camera floating or following me from above with no stick in sight. By now, the sun has set, the surrounding is dark. Shooting with normal video function looks dark. It is almost dark with this little street light at the park. The surprising thing is that I'm still able to see the silhouette shadow when I expected to be total darkness. The other main reason I bought the X5 was its AI-powered low light performance, especially a feature called PureVideo that is designed to help you shoot in environment with very little light. So now, it is basically dark in Bishan Park with a few street lights left. I switch on the PureVideo mode and wow, the AI actually brightened up my face and boosts visibility in the surrounding too, even when I expected to be total darkness. That's pretty impressive for a small action camera at night. However, the color do look a little washed out compared to daylight footage, which is something I noticed personally. But overall, I really like what PureVideo does for low light shooting. Alright, enough of Bishan Park right now. I'm on the MRT subway, heading towards downtown. And that means one thing, night practice begins. What better place to test X5 low light capabilities than Orchard Road year-end Christmas light up? That's where tons of lights, decoration, and festive display comes alive after sunset. The perfect stress test for night shooting. The Christmas light up runs along the 3 km of Orchard Road from Tanling to Dhoby Ghat with sparkling lights and theme installation celebrating SG60. This straight MRT ride will take me right to the Orchard MRT station. And once I'm out, I am switching fully to the AI-driven PureVideo mode. Because in the night setting, a normal video mode does not cut it anymore. So let's see how X5 handle festive night lights and low light streets ahead. As much as my main focus is still single lens mode, I know I have got to practice my 360 editing too. Especially now that I'm out here at Orchard Road Christmas light up. But worry not, I will let you know ahead of time whenever I toggle between single lens and 360 mode, so that you will never be confused about what I'm shooting with. I've just reached Wheelock Place, and the highlight here is the light leading up to the conical ceiling of the mall interior. It looks great in person, but that's the thing. Instead of doing multiple B-roll shots, like walking up and down the escalator a bunch of times, I just activate the 360 lens and capture everything in one shot. Unlike normal single lens shooting, when I'm using 360 lens here, I do not need to worry about what I'm focusing on in the moment. I can just hold the camera in front of me, let it record the entire scene, and keep walking. Later in editing, I can choose the framing I want, whether that's focusing myself, the festive ceiling lights, or the decoration to my side, all from the same video clip. Here's another real-life moment where 360 shooting really helped me out. As I walk across the traffic crossing between Lido and Wheelock Place, I didn't have to decide in the moment what angle I wanted to capture. Whether I wanted to show what's in front of me, or to my left where the cars were stopping at the traffic lights, or to my right with the Christmas lights and decoration. I do not have to pick one right then and there. Because with the 360 capture, the camera records everything around me at once, and I can choose later in editing which part of the scene I want to focus on. The best thing about it is that I only need to cross the road once to get all the angles covered. And that's a big deal when you're racing against traffic lights. I literally got only a dozen seconds to shoot before the lights turn green again. And instead of trying multiple trips back and forth or reposition it for another take, I just let the camera roll and trust that I can choose the best angle later in the comfort of my home. One of the drawbacks I'm finding with using Insta360 X5 is the post-editing workload, especially when you are shooting in 360 mode. Framing those shots later after video shoots can be tricky, and I'm still learning how to visualize where I want the focus to be. That's something I didn't struggle with as much on a traditional camera like the Pocket series. One thing I noticed in my 360 footage is this weird distortion or wraparound look on the side of the image, especially when I try to reframe later. That's a common issue with 360 camera like the Insta360 X5, because this camera stitches together two fisheye lenses into one spherical video. As a travel vlogger, my preference is still using the single lens I'm more used to, that is the brick and mortar way of vlogging, the point and shoot style. And while I like what X5 delivers, the vibrant and punchy colors, it doesn't capture video depth in the same way a dedicated gimbal camera like the DJI Pocket series does. One thing that hits me as I try using Insta360 more, especially the 360 mode, is how much memory space this footage is up. Files from 360 video, especially at high resolution like 8K or 5.7K, are much larger than normal single lens footage. In my normal workflow as a travel vlogger, I dump my footage straight onto a hard drive after the trip, and only really look back at the footage months later when I start editing. With 360 footage that takes up significantly more storage than single lens clip, I can already see this is a problem for me, both in the space needed and remembering what I have actually shot. You see, memory fades, and going back months later to reframe 360 clips is going to be tough and time consuming, especially if I don't organize it soon after shooting. As such, I will need a new workflow habit. After my travel trip, I have to do a quick pass of reframing the 360 clip I want to keep in flat format first, and then export the reframe version and dump all this smaller flat video clip into long-term storage. That way, I capture all the creative 360 gives me, but avoid filling out my hard disk with huge spherical files that I might never edit if I leave them for too long. Realistically, I expect most of my footage to stay in single lens mode. That is the quick point and shoot style I'm used to. Then use the 360 for that special or memorable shots worth reframing later. Maybe something like a 80-20 rule. 80% single lens normal video that fits my current workflow, and 20% 360 for creative scenes that are worth the extra storage and editing efforts. That seems like a practical balance for someone like me who travel light and edit later. One thing I noticed when I update my X5 firmware is this new feature called InstaFrame. And honestly, it feels like a godsend for a creator like me who aren't big on heavy video editing. InstaFrame function let me capture a 360 clip and automatically creates a ready-to-share flat file at the same time, without spending hours in post-production. And there are some fun motion feature built into the 360 shooting mode, like the horizontal 360 rotation and vertical barrel roll movement. Another thing, I was told that it is really helpful in distortion correction. I'm still trying to explore some of this function and may not be able to showcase in this video. So in short, I'm probably going to use InstaFrame more often than video single lens in normal lighting. Of course, when it comes to night shoot, PureVideo single lens still my go-to. Thanks for hanging around during this little sharing session. I'm still learning this camera gear, and if you enjoyed this honest breakdown or learn something from my trial and error, please drop a like, leave a comment, and help this small creator grow. And if you are new here, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be sharing more travel vlogging tips, gear experience like this, and travel stories along the way. Until the next trip, I see you in the next travel log.